Bonjour à tous. Hello, everybody. Hello. So we have a very nice program on government, open source, and digital sovereignty this morning. And so, and we'll start with the conference. So, le programme ce matin est, je crois, principalement en anglais. And today, and this round table is in English. So, cette table ronde est en français, est en anglais, pardon. So today we'll start with the Sovereign Digital Workplace, a catalyzer for open source cooperation between EU member states. And the roundtable is animated by Virgile Deville from DINUM. And we'll have Alexander Smolianitski, that is head of open source product at ZenDiS. And unfortunately, Samuel Paccoud, if you expected to see him on stage, as you can see, he's not here. He is unfortunately sick, and he's replaced by Anna-Livia Gomar from the DINUM for this roundtable. I let the floor to Virgile and Alexander and Anna-Livia.
This works. Okay, thank you for being here. Thank you everyone for attending the earliest panel. So I'll dive right in as we have only 20 minutes. My first question is for Alex. So you guys are working on the sovereign workplace, and it's a concept that we hear more and more. It's gaining momentum. Could you tell us like how you define it? Why is it such an important topic? Why now? And how you are approaching it?
Cool. Good morning. Maybe Anna-Livia, you will also say a few words. We will crash the questions. Just for everybody to know, it's maybe not important to know who I am. I'm just Alex. But ZenDiS is the Center for Digital Sovereignty of the federal government in Germany. I think all public administrations feel that they have massive dependencies on big players, and at the end we always work for our citizens. And if you have a look, you will see that basically the taxpayers' money, so to say, is always massively dependent whenever it comes to IT infrastructure on prices, but also on the roadmap of big companies, and you can't really change them. And we need to change government, so we need to be in control of how government can operate. And I think in that regard, it's really important to see that that there are certain governments who are heavily investing into the question of how to gain the sovereignty. And I think that's what France and also Germany are working on. And in regards to Germany, we have a product which is called Open Desk, which is, so to say, a product which is owned by the federal government, as in the name, so to say, but all the components are created with partners from the open source ecosystem, which we work together with.
Sorry. I'm Anna-Livia. I'm the deputy head of the Operateur, which is the IT operator of the DINUM. And the DINUM is in charge of the digital strategy of the French administration. And one of the components of this strategy is to ensure our sovereignty in terms of IT. And the DINUM has for some time pushed for public money, public code, and for open source. And so when we think about sovereignty, we think of it as open source as the best solution today to ensure our sovereignty, because it allows us to both have mastery over the code, so understanding the code, understanding what it does with the data, but it doesn't have to be monopolistic. And actually, because it's not monopolistic, we can have this digital mastery being spread around as much as possible, and not only on the French territory, but also we can see it as a European initiative. The more we have developers, the more we have companies that are fluent in those software, that are fluent in those protocols that we are using, that are very open, the more we have developers fluent in those, the more resilient we are, and the more sovereign we are with our IT. So that's one of the reasons we we can work together is because we are driven by this strategy.
Cool, excellent. Thank you. So I guess, so you both have an open source strategy, and could you describe it in a few words, basically, of how you are using open source, how you are contributing to open source, what is your overall strategy? Because it seems that it's at the core of your approach to the sovereign workplace.
That is a great question, because there is open source and there is how you do open source. And I think everybody who does open source knows that there are multiple ways to do open source. The way we have constructed our suite of services is to say the thing that we want to centralize, the only thing we will centralize is our single sign-on, because there is single in the name and it made sense. So basically our system of authentication and authorization is centralized, and we are thinking of decentralizing it, but mostly it's centralized. And then all other products that connect to it can be independent. And one of the main reason we want it to be independent is because we want to be as close as possible to the main branch of any open source software we use. And if we contribute, we want to contribute to that main branch. There are several reasons for that. It is because we want to be part of the community, and being part of the community is not forking something and doing something on your own, it's contributing to the main branch with the community. And the other reason is because we think that's where we're going to have the most impact. The more we can share with the community, the best ideas we can come up with, and we can bring all those good ideas and those wonderful products to the French state workers and have the best public service possible.
Yeah, what I really like about this question is that you can see that we both have a similar vision. We both are using open source, but we use our efforts differently, because whereas DINUM themselves, so to say, or you guys are developing on your own or with partners, but mostly within DINUM, so to say, we work with partners and have a large network, so to say, of providers who contribute by using funding which we provide, and by that we enhance, so to say, in an upstream contribution kind of way, all the products, and at the end, so to say, all benefit from it, not only the ones who use it within OpenDesk, but everybody else as well. And I think this is some sort of an approach which can work at the same time together, and we see that both products benefit from basically from having contributions from both angles. But I really think that it's really important to have partners who are there, who are involved, who can not only develop features which are important for us, but also from the larger community, so to say, and then by that everybody benefits.
Okay. So yeah, definitely complementary approaches, I would say. I guess that what led you to sign a cooperation agreement February this year, where basically it kind of like materialized as a first concrete effort with what you call the 100-day challenge, which was basically 100 man days on each side. To work on 3 topics, I think, federating the German SSO with the French SSO, so we can actually like invite you on our tools, you can invite us on your tools, and we can work all together, not in a silo at the European level. And we've been experiencing that to prepare the panel. It's pretty cool. And the second challenge was around AI use cases, around video conferencing, so being able to transcript a video conference, sum it up with action points and everything. And the last one was working on collaborative note-taking, because we observe a need on both sides. You guys had an event in Paris in September to work on the project. There were some milestones. There will be another event trying to finalize the 100-day challenge. My question is to both of you, what was the most exciting results of the challenge? And the second question, was this initiative, so the 100 Days Challenge, a good way to kick off and foster collaboration? Do you think it will be something that you will do again in the future?
I hope so, and I think we are all working on it. I think what's really amazing is to see how two different countries have teams which work together as one right now, and I think this is something that where it's not that often, especially in the IT space, where you have some sort of a government-to-government relation where both contribute to the same repository, if you want to have it, so to say, in a technical aspect. I think this is something which we showed that it's working. I think the agreement took, I think, 2 years in writing or so of a, I don't know, like a 2-pager. But then we started working, and we see how many things have come up, or the teams have come up with within just the past 6 or so months. And I think that it's something that really has a perspective to grow stronger between both countries, but also with others.
And what was the most exciting part?
The fact that they can work together. Even I don't know, like if you want to have it, even something like a language barrier which does not exist, it's really nice to see that.
To me, I agree with Alex. It's actually building community. Is finding a way that when you work with people, you don't only do the work. You talk together, you share ideas, you come up with new solutions. And the more we work together at that operational level, the better the relationship gets. And that's, for me, something that is quite exciting. The other thing that is exciting is to see other countries starting to be in the European space, being interested in what we do. We keep we have very open lines of communication on what we do. As I think everybody knows in this room, writing the code is only the first step, and then getting people to know what you do and to be interested and to contribute is a whole other thing. And so we really communicate heavily with other countries to show them what we're doing, to keep them informed. And I think, to me, that's one of the two most exciting aspects. The other exciting aspect is to kind of turn on its head the way we see institutional collaboration by being inspired by the open source community, is saying, let's put people who are actually doing the work together. So let's take the people like Alex and Samuel and ask, what do you want to do? And then people like me or the BMI on the German side, then we see what they want to do, and we share together, like, what are the strategic things we want to push. And so all ideas that we push through those challenges, they come from the operational teams. They come from the technical experts. And we are there to push their ideas forward, to champion them. And I think that seeing collaboration not as something that comes from the top down and then being very siloed, but as something that comes from a community and we get to push on a strategic level, is something that is very, very exciting, not only for the suite, but for maybe other ways to see our work.
And maybe one last addition, what you were just sharing, and I thought about, we had a hackathon, so to say, a multi-day hackathon in September, and we had, I think, 8 other countries who were taking part. And I think what I really liked about that was not the fact that we had so many countries, but also actually we had the product guys, the design guys, the developers, everybody at the end of the hackathon presenting to the policymakers, so to say, what they were doing, and explaining why it's really important that what they are contributing, so to say, to a general international product. And it's really interesting to see how we can open up and basically get both worlds under one umbrella.
Okay, thank you. I guess that's a question for Anna-Livia. So for me, it's kind of new seeing states cooperating on open source. At least I didn't have previous knowledge, and I was wondering if you think it's an effective scale to do it. I think it's cool. I've seen it at the more of a local level, sometimes also at the above, like the European level is doing a lot of open source stuff because they aggregate initiatives, but states doing it like bilaterally or even with more states, I think it's kind of new. So I'm wondering what you think.
From my experience working at the DINUM, we work with other countries a lot because we're so often we are neighbors, and so we need to. Yeah, there are some things that are very interesting to work on together. There's how do you share diplomas across borders? I don't know how many of you did the Erasmus program, but the Erasmus program pushes and incentivizes students to go and study abroad in Europe. So then they get European diplomas, and then when you get to, you need to get your diploma back in France. You need to know that there are some equivalencies and stuff. So there's a lot of collaboration in the European sphere. And there is IT collaboration, of course, because we are wondering how we can share those data, not only in paper-wise, but how do we automatically share it between countries. The thing that changes here, I think, is twofold. First, we are working on very generic bricks and not something that is only used by states. And we want to contribute to those very generic bricks. And that's something that I hadn't seen before on that scale. And that's something that is very exciting. The second thing that I think is completely changing the way we see it is that normally you get kind of you are this country and this is what you need to do on your side. And then this country is going to do what they need to do on their side, and then there is going to be some kind of coordination above that. And the idea for the projectathon is that I was in Brussels, and they showed how much work you can do when you can put developer teams. So you had 24 developer teams in the same room, working on how can they share information. And that's when it hit me that the only way we can really work together effectively is to actually work together in the same room or on the same repository. So to me, those are the things that are really changing the paradigm. It's not collaborating because Europe is about collaboration, but it's collaborating on the tools we use every day. And it's collaborating at a very operational level, having cross-country teams that know each other, that see each other, that can work on the long term together. I think that's where the innovation and our future sovereignty lies.
Okay, great. Very exciting. So next question is for Alex. Looking ahead, what do you see as the next big trend in the sovereign tech space? How sovereign workspace? Thank you. And how are you preparing for it?
I think we already started with one of the challenges that we are approaching. Obviously, it's not a shocker for this room that automation and AI are topics which we need to have a look at. I think in regards to sovereignty, it's really important to see what kind of LLMs you are using, what kind of basically the entire technology in the back. I think that's something that we are starting to work on right now, and it's really interesting to see how others can contribute, because at that point we will need more people. We will need more public administrations to have a proper public administrative AI, which will use or which we will be able to use. I think that's an important case.
And I think it's something we already have some things in production, at least on the French state. Like we have an app where you can the note-taking app we were talking about. You can actually have AI actions when you select some text. So it's already something that's happening, and I think you are doing a lot of things around video conferencing on the German side.
Yeah, what we are doing right now, also together with one of the teams at DINUM, is figuring out a way how we can have a secure video conference and having an AI bot join it to have not only a summary but also some sort of an action item list and stuff like that. I think things which you can see sometimes from the outside, which is very easy, or at least it looks very easy, but if you want to have it in a secure manner, then it's an extra mile, which I think so far most of the providers haven't given to the administration.
Okay. And are there any country representative in the room? Okay, so this will be for the, I don't know if we are recorded, but maybe for people looking at it on when it's published. And Olivia, why do you think other countries should join you?
I think that there is this idea of you need a certain, there is a term for it, I can't find it, but you need a certain number of people to maintain such great services. And the more countries participate, the more we can agree that for that time we want to contribute to that technological brick. Well, the sure we are to find, if we find ourselves in a situation where we can only rely on the technology we master in Europe, then we know we have enough people who can contribute, who can maintain and who can enhance those bricks so that we can continue our everyday work. I don't think we see enough what email and spreadsheets and word processors are an essential part of our infrastructure today. If we can't master this, then someone else masters it, and then if that goes away, we are in deep trouble. So mastering those technologies and being able to make them better and make them best of breed, I think is a great opportunity for our productivity, for our for the way the way we work every day. And I think that's the thing we learn by working together, is that a public worker in France is the same as a public worker in Germany, and I'm sure it's the same as a public worker. I mean, you send emails, you do spreadsheets, you deal with the budget. I mean, all those things, we do the same work. It's not the same policies, and it's not, but at the end of the day, we work with the same kind of tools. So why not working together to have a European mastery on those tools, to have our technological resilience, and to work with exciting technology. I mean, bringing AI to every public administration worker. I mean, can you imagine the jump of productivity? How many repetitive tasks we could transform into something that is more interesting and more exciting. I'm bringing the best tools to the people we serve as DINUM, because we serve all the French public administration workers. I don't know, it makes me get up in the morning. And if we can bring that to Europe.
6.5 million agents, right? 6.5 million agents. Is that a good figure?
2 million for the central government. So I'm thinking, yeah, it's a lot of it's a lot of workers, and teachers and people in the people who make the world go round, and bringing them the best tools possible is very exciting. I'm sorry, I get really excited about this project.
Yeah, that's cool.
Virgile, sorry to interrupt. We have bad news and good news. At this point, the next speaker is a bit late. We don't know exactly where he is, so we can extend a little bit and take questions if you wish.
Are there any questions?
Yes.
Thank you. That's very interesting and inspiring. Can you share the progress of the status of the project? Are there outcomes already, planned releases?
Yeah. So exactly, I think in 1 week and a few hours, we will have the final event of the first batch, so to say, of the 100-day challenges. I'm sure that we will have some sort of a media coverage in that regard, and we will share also not only the progress which has been made, because you not only can look on the ideas on paper, but also really in code and also in action. And I think we will also some sort of a way forward, and the next steps we will also announce. And it's really interesting to see how basically we will have some sort of a track, I think, outside of the 100-day challenges, where we are going to maintain what we are doing in the 100 days, like what we did, for example, for the past half year. We will obviously continue on working on, whereas we will also add new topics, and it's really interesting that. And I think that since it's open source, it's not only governments who can contribute to that.
Another question? Thank you.
So thanks, Anna-Livia and Alex, for this great, inspiring work. Thinking a bit into the future, I mean, going 2 or 3 years into the future, where do you want to be, like, in terms of size? What kind of technologies and topics do you want to have covered?
I don't know. A year ago, I didn't think we knew what AI could do. So thinking ahead, I think it's a risky game in our work. What I do hope is that we can have public servants who feel it is natural to share information in real time. I really hope I do not see an spreadsheet in an email anymore. I mean, that's what we deal with. We deal with people getting 50 emails with 50 spreadsheets, and they need to take the spreadsheets and put it in one spreadsheet. That's the work today. I mean, if you come from the technological space, you've been using Google Docs for years. You've been using the free alternatives for years, and you see what is possible. That transformation has not happened yet everywhere in the government. Of course, there are places where it happened, but we're talking about technological brick because that's what we like talking about. But behind those bricks is a deep transformation of our organization. It's the transformation of work. And that is what I'm most excited about in the future. It's not the specific technology, it's saying, just bring everybody in a chat. So I know, does anyone know chat here? Because, oh, cool. Chat is our matrix-based instant messaging. So say, just create a room on chat, put everybody who's interested in that topic, and then have a document that everybody can contribute to in real time. That change in terms of control of the information, in terms of how do I get connected? So ProConnect today helps us have one login and one password for all our apps so that it's easier to contribute. I mean, all those barriers, we need to take them down. And I think that's the bigger challenge is there, because I trust completely Alex and Samuel to find the right tools to contribute to, and I trust the open source community to come up with the best tools for the job. Learning how to use those tools, I think that's where the challenge is.
One last thing, and then Ludovic, you are going to cut me, but I'm short. I'm short. I think in regards to your question, I think what basically you gave the emotional answer. I think we should find finally the way where people don't talk about the solutions that we built as an alternative, but actually start using them and start using them in a day-to-day basis, because transformation takes time. But once you start it, it should not be easy to stop it. And I really hope that that's the approach that both countries are working on.
Thank you very much for this great presentation. It's extremely exciting.